The crystalline court of Nexera sparkled with bioluminescent magnificence as Ambassador Felix delivered his verdict. Queen Amaryllis stood frozen, her translucent wings trembling with barely contained rage. "Your Majesty," a Vortani diplomat said, his 3 eyes gleaming with condescension, "we must speak plainly. Princess Eva lacks the aesthetic qualities necessary for a political union. Her asymmetry is unfortunate." The other gathered dignitaries nodded in agreement. The Calvorian prince had already departed without ceremony. The Asterian duke had made his excuses before even meeting Ava. Now, the last potential suitor was withdrawing his interest. Queen Amaryllis knew what they saw when they looked at her daughter. Ava's wings bore a birth defect, the left one smaller than the right, the crystalline structure fractured in places. Her iridescent skin held patches where the color didn't quite shimmer correctly. By Nexeran standards, these flaws were catastrophic. "You forget yourself, Ambassador," the Queen said coldly. "This audience is concluded." In her chambers high in the palace spire, Princess Ava pressed her forehead against the transparent wall, watching the diplomatic ships depart one by one. She had long ago accepted that she would never marry. Beauty was currency in the Galactic Union, and she had been born bankrupt. A gentle knock interrupted her thoughts. "Your Highness?" A human voice, accented but clear. "Your mother sent me to check the environmental controls." Ava turned to see a man in grease-stained coveralls standing in her doorway. He was young, perhaps in his late 20s by human standards, with dark hair that fell across his forehead and curious brown eyes. A tool bag hung from his shoulder. "The systems are functioning properly," Eva said, reflexively turning her damaged wing away from view. "That's good to hear," the human said, but he didn't leave. Instead, he stepped inside, his eyes scanning the chamber's mechanical systems. "Oliver Hayes, by the way, head mechanic on the human engineering team. We've been retrofitting your palace's life support systems." "I know who you are," Eva replied. She had watched the human workers from her windows, fascinated by their casual efficiency and the way they laughed while they worked. Humans were new to the Galactic Union, a recently contacted species, still earning their place among the stars. Oliver pulled out a scanner and began checking the wall panels. "I heard what happened in the throne room. The acoustics in this place carry sound like you wouldn't believe. We were working in the air ducts." Eva felt heat rise in her face, not a blush, but the Nexeran equivalent, a dimming of her bioluminescence. "Then you know I am unmarriageable." "Please, I would prefer not to discuss. They're idiots," Oliver said bluntly. Eva blinked. "Excuse me? Those ambassadors, those princes and dukes." Oliver tapped his scanner against his palm, meeting her eyes directly. "They're idiots." "You're beautiful." For a moment, Eva couldn't speak. No one, absolutely no one, had ever said those words to her. "You're mocking me." "I'm really not." Oliver set down his tools and approached her carefully, as if she were a skittish creature that might flee. "Humans see beauty differently, I think. We don't have your crystalline perfection or your bioluminescence. We're soft and plain, and we only live about 80 years if we're lucky. Maybe that's why we learn to see beauty in other things." "Like damaged wings?" Eva asked bitterly. "Like asymmetry," Oliver corrected. "Like the way light fractures through your left wing differently than your right, creating patterns that are unique in all the universe. Like the patches on your skin that remind me of Earth's moon. You know the moon? Imperfect, cratered, but so beautiful that my ancestors wrote thousands of poems about it." Eva found herself moving closer. "You're strange." "Yeah, humans are like that." Oliver smiled, and Eva noticed how the expression transformed his entire face. "Look, I know I'm just a mechanic. I know I have no business even speaking to a princess. But I heard those ambassadors, and I couldn't stop thinking about it all day. Someone needed to tell you the truth, which is that you're extraordinary, that your so-called flaws make you more interesting, more real, more worth knowing than any of those perfect, polished nobles. Oliver ran a hand through his hair, suddenly seeming nervous. I know this is crazy. I know we're from completely different worlds. But if you'd be willing, I'd like to get to know you properly, as more than just the mechanic checking your environmental systems. Ava's heart hammered in her chest. Are you asking to court me? I'm asking if you'd have dinner with me, Oliver said. Maybe in one of your gardens? I've heard they're incredible. And if dinner goes well, then, yeah, I guess I'm asking to court you. If that's something you'd want. For the first time in years, Eva felt something unfamiliar bloom in her chest. Hope. My mother will never approve, she said softly. The court will be scandalized. Humans are barely recognized by the Union. I know. You have no title, no land, no political value. Also true. And you still want to court me? Oliver's smile widened. Your Highness, I'd be honored. Eva extended her hand, the traditional Nexaran gesture of acceptance. Oliver took it gently, his warm human fingers wrapping around her crystalline ones. Then yes, Eva said, and for the first time in memory, her bioluminescence brightened with genuine joy. Yes, I would like to have dinner with you. Oliver Hayes. Later that evening, when Queen Amaryllis discovered a human mechanic dining with her daughter in the royal gardens, watching Ava actually laugh for the first time in years, she made no objection. She simply sent word to the kitchens to prepare human-compatible cuisine. Sometimes, the Queen reflected, the most valuable things in the universe were those that couldn't be measured in treaties or alliances. Sometimes they were found in the honest eyes of a young mechanic who saw beauty where others saw only flaws. And sometimes, just sometimes, humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their tenacity. It was their ability to love what others had deemed unworthy of love. The end.